Sorry for the immersion break from the last video, but I want you guys to understand that I just got completely screwed over. So what you see right now is on your screen a bunch of my files that I saved. And file 10 and 11, or rather, sorry, file 11 is my saved data from when I beat the game completely beginning to end. Just before we went into Ragnarok, file 9 and 10 remained the same. As you can see, they're the exact same time. And then file 8 was the manual save that I had done like many hours before, about 3 hours. I try to save my files 3 hours ish apart from a manual save because I usually get covered by the autosave. Here's the problem. Unfortunately, I got screwed over by the system because I was streaming directly from my device to YouTube. Something I didn't know about YouTube is that they actually only allow for 12 hours to be automatically saved. Anything past 12 hours, they cannot guarantee, and there's a potential that you actually lose that anything past that 12 hours. So I was actually in the situation where I streamed for 15 and a half hours. The ending of Ragnarok was in the last 3.5 hours, and what you lo and behold, I lost those 3.5 hours. So I had two options. I could sit here and take it, or I could go back into my saved files that were all about 3 hours apart and replay about 3 to 5 hours depending on how long it took me with each battle to get back to where I was, and then actually record it for you guys. That's what I decided to do. So file 8, I loaded up, even though it was, basically 5-6 hours away from when I beat the game, and said, screw it, let's do it again, hardest difficulty and all. So there are a few differences that I did in this playthrough versus the one that you saw from the live stream to that point. Like for instance, I had to do a lot of these battles repeated. So like this Draugr, I had to fight the Draugr again, and a few other bosses that I'm going to show you in a quick little snippet in this video. But long story short, I fought all these guys again, and I chose to take a slightly different route from my original one. So my original route, I was focusing more on overall stats for everything: runic, cooldown, luck, strength, and defense. All of it was kind of like spread across the board very evenly, I would say. Whereas in this one, I decided, because I had already experienced the final boss, so it no longer was going to be my first time playing them, and I can't give you my authentic live reaction because that got cut out by YouTube themselves. I was going to basically min-max for what I knew was coming. As at the time, I didn't know what the boss was going to look like. Excuse me. I didn't know what the boss was going to look like, so I was preparing kind of like a across the board for all circumstances. Now that I know what's coming, I don't want to sit here and have to play hours and hours and hours again, since I've already replayed like 3+ hours, and I've done it in an hour and a half quicker than I did originally. But, that's to be said because it's my second time playing these parts, whereas that was my first, so that's kind of normal. Regardless, my point is, I sat there and I min-maxed my build, so I basically invested completely into strength and defense, and that was like the only two things that I decided to really like level up. Everything else from runic, luck, and cooldown I decided to get rid of because I felt like it wasn't really going to impact my play that much, so I didn't care. But regardless, here we are fighting the last Draugr of the Draugr holes. It was 5 of 6 at this point completed. This is my second time fighting him. If you don't want to watch it, completely understand. There's literally no problem with that, because you've seen it once already if you were watching my other 12-hour video. If you do want to see it, well, the good news is this is a completely different playthrough because it was my second time having to fight this guy. And I believe in my original playthrough, I fought the dragon first, and then I came over to this Draugr hole, and I finished him off, and I believe I did it in the daytime, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a few things that I did differently, like I did this at nighttime, I did it before I went and fought the dragon, and in overall, like I was like basically a snippet of health the entire time, like pretty much from his 75% point of health is when I decided to fight him. And as you can see, I've been surviving on the edge the entire time, and that's exactly where I like it. My girl was actually watching with me, because I was playing it without a headset, without a mic, just like, with me and her playing in a party, and she was like, I love how you operate under pressure. She basically was saying, like, you lock in when your back is against the wall, and I love that about you, and that made me feel good, I'm not gonna lie. So, and it's true, because I mean, when you know that it's over and you're one hit from death, you have to lock in or you lose, right? And operating under pressure is where I thrive. Now this guy, the Valley of the Oath guard, we took care of him with relative ease. I love that. Dragon old boy, had to fight him again, but hey, listen, he didn't know what was coming because bada bing, bada boom, we were going to get a nice little shield bash, counter attack, shield on that again, throw him off to the side, a couple attacks, and we're going to finish him off. And honestly, I like playing out these cutscenes again because even though it's the second time seeing it, it's still so much fun, you know? Like, God of War holds a special place in my heart. It is my favorite franchise of all time. And even with the vastly different God of War 1, 2, 3, Chains of Olympus, Ghost of Sparta, and Ascension, compared to God of War and God of War Ragnarok 2018 and 2022, I still love this series because they did such a good job. Now, a big difference that you guys didn't see in the live stream compared to what you see right now is that I did not fight this Phantom because at this point I was like hardcore, like I want to get into it. We're going to fight to war. We're going to a war with Asgard and Odin and I want to get there. The people are watching. We got to go, go, go. So like I was very much in the, you know, for the story aspect of it, let's go. I don't want to like explore anymore. I came back here just before we get to, you know, go to, what is it, Muspelheim, I believe, and we get the guy who's going to turn into Ragnarok. He's literally, that's his name. I found this by accident and did not know that a Phantom was going to pop out of there. But the funny thing is, I found him by accident and first tried his ass. Like, I remember the first time that I came across a Phantom in the desert, and I was like, bro, what the hell is this? I was so timid, scared, and it took me so many tries to beat him. Like, I genuinely did not understand it. And you can see it right there just before I threw the axe. I was looking all around, left, right. This is the only one I know where it is. I genuinely don't even look. As soon as I break it, I'm going to look around like, where are they? Yep. And then I see 2 of them. But I'm like, okay, there's 3. So there's a third one. I don't know where it is. So I was praying that I was able to get this second one broken, and I wasn't. But I wasn't even concerned about it because the one thing about the Phantoms is they don't have any different attacks. I fought this guy so many hours ago, like 20 hours in was like the first time I fought one, somewhere around there. And once you know the movesets, like I'm confident I could beat all of them in a succession, in a row, because it's that easy. So like once you know their movesets, it's easy. The only thing I thought I was gonna die right there because I was against the wall and I didn't have much space to get the full dodge space that I usually would. So I was a little bit concerned that I might die there. Other than that though, we were solid. Like I was like, okay, I'm very confident. Oh shit, I was gonna say that's gonna take me out right there. Long story short, I knew what to do here, so it was a relatively easy battle. Again, if you don't want to watch it, just skip forward like a minute or two. You know, it should be done relatively quickly. But if you do want to watch it because it wasn't in the original live stream, I completely understand. Listen, I love it. Oh yeah, I saw that attack, remembered. Oh yeah, I can counterattack these guys. So of course I'm going to finish that off. The funny thing is, I'm so used to using the axe now, I always forget that I have the spear. It's always my first go-to when I have to throw something. It's so odd that I have to throw the spear now. But I do like it because it goes exactly where I tell you, and there is no drop. There's no bullet drop. There's no like weapon drop, which I like that a lot because with the axe, you have to aim up and account for that. With the spear, you put it exactly where you want it and you just throw it. Big reason why I like Call of Duty and not necessarily Battlefield, because I know that Battlefield is one of those games that is more hyper realistic, and like when you shoot, well, it's not super hyper realistic, but like it's more realistic than Call of Duty, I'd say, by a lot. And one of those things that's nice, see, I'm looking around for the final totem, and I found it right there. I was like, okay, now that I know where it is, I can finally fight him, break this last bit of his shield, and break that last totem and call it a day. But long story short, Battlefield is known to be more realistic, and I personally don't like the bullet drop. I don't want to be across the map shooting at somebody that's literally multiple football fields away, and I'm trying to account for Battlefield bullet drop. I like to just put the damn thing on the body and shoot, because in my opinion, that takes skill just as much as it does to do the things that you do in Battlefield, long distance shooting, but it's not as fun. It's not as fulfilling, you know. So here we are. We're about to finish this bad boy. He only needs like one more combo. You know, quick dodge to the left there because that always does damage in a forward succession. Do the nice little wow, bing, bam, bam. He's about to go down right here. Run over to the last totem that I found. Throw the I guess it's the spear. I got used to it. I adapted on the spot. Love that. And at this point, boom, he's broken. He comes out, one hit, and then you just do the execution, and you call it a day. Boom, there it is, execute him. I pressed R3 there, and then he was, like, sprinting at him. It was so awkward. And I did it for all of them, like, for, like, a half a second to a second. They just sprint at them like that. Regardless, open up the chest that I didn't have in my original playthrough. And of course, I see Lion's Roar, the Lion's Roar handle for the spear. I decided to equip it, and because it was purely in defense, it gave me the most. I think it was 50 or 60 at level 90, level 9, which is insane. That stupid thing right there, I spent more time than I would like to admit on it. Like, honestly, that took me forever to get through, and I was a little bit tired of it. So, again, did the same thing, got to 4 out of 5 in this one. Still don't have that last upgrade for the health, but after all the fun, trials, and tribulations, we finally made it back here. And so now I have a save file on 8, which is just before Ragnarok from my previous playthrough. I have 9, which is this one. And then I have 10, which is the... Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. 8 is... Jesus Christ. 8 is the one that I had loaded. 9 is the one that I had set up to have to run through from 8. Then 10 was the previous save before Ragnarok, and 11 was when I beat the game on my other one. So now 9 and 11, both of these save files are going to be 2 different completions from the point of save file 8, which is kind of crazy to think about. I do have a lot less hack silver and a lot less experience of both my characters because I decided to level everything to max level that I could at this point in the game. So that way I could just know that I have more damage, actually maximum damage I should say. And you can see that I'm showing that off with all my weapons for Atreus and for Kratos, and making sure that my armor was at max level as well. And you can see I've got a heavy focus into strength and defense. If you look at my stats, runic, cooldown, luck, and vitality are all very much down for a crap ton of defense and strength. We're 7.5, level 7.5 at this point. I actually wanted to put on this Boon of Fury as well. I think I take out Celestial Panacea, because of the fact that for me, I think it wasn't part of anything. So I was like, let's take that out. Maybe it was Muspelheim Protection because it didn't have any strength or defense. Yeah, exactly. And Boon of Fury was really nice because it gives me more damage and less activation usage for the short drawback of very few. So I was like, hey, we'll take that. But long story short, this is the new build. I'm going to be live streaming it in the next video directly after this one. And I'm also going to be rendering it so that way it's in clear crystal HD. Because listen, guys, I get it. I have super fast internet. I've got 2 gigabytes up and down. It's not really too expensive now to get fiber, which is nice. The problem is I'm streaming from a PS5 and it has a limit of 1 gigabyte up and down. And the and the upload is only up to 150 megabytes. So because of that, even though I can stream in 1080 60 frames, as soon as I start moving around, it blurs and pixelates, something that I don't like. So I'm going to render this for you, and I'm also going to live stream it so you can watch it in your choice of leisure. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are officially back, and this is going to be my new playthrough number 2 from this point forward, so you guys can witness Ragnarok with me. With that being said, enjoy the video. Godman out.